Consultants, your problem currently isn't leads, it's actually a dependency, and I'm going to explain to you everything in this actual video. I want you to watch this video to the end because I'm going to give you absolutely everything. The frameworks, the structure. I'm going to also talk about the actual design of your actual business. And I'm going to actually break it down why your problem currently is not actual leads, but it's actually the dependency. Okay, so let me actually start with a story. A couple of years ago, I met a consultant who was really making some good money. He was a little bit of success as well. He had a lot of success inside of his business. Had clients coming in, had leads, he was running also ads, he had appointments booked. But behind the scenes, like, he was really stressed out. He was also exhausted at some point because his fulfillment was not really standardized, and it was like most of it was like custom, done with you, where he consistently had to jump on calls. He also was really scared, and every single month he had the same thought, like, what happens if leads suddenly stop? Like, will I survive, right? Because his entire business depended on one ad platform, which was Google, one funnel, and one source of traffic. One system he didn't fully actually control. 1 month he got Google slapped, right? The ads stopped performing, and you probably have heard about Google slapped. So he got Google slapped, leads dropped, sales dropped, income dropped, and within 60 days his successful business was almost gone and nearly actually wiped out. Not because he wasn't good, not because he wasn't skilled, not because he wasn't smart, but because he was dependent. And that's what we are going to talk about today as well. Because if you are a consultant, your biggest problem is probably not the actual leads, it's actual dependency. So what you actually will learn inside of this video and this actual training, I want you to watch this video to the end. So 10 things that you can actually implement inside of your business from today after watching this entire training, entire video. So number 1, why more leads won't fix your business, and what actually creates stable growth. Number 2, dependency trap that keeps most consultants stressed, unstable, and stuck. Number 3, how to build businesses that doesn't collapse when ads, referrals, or platforms slow down. The 5 core systems every independent consultant needs to have in order for them to actually scale their business safely. Number 5, how to create multiple client acquisition channels so you never rely on just one source, and how to turn short-term clients into long-term recurring revenue. Number 7, the framework to move from chasing deals to building predictable systems. Number 8, how to regain control over your time, income, and energy. Number 9, why top consultants focus on ownership and control, not just actual traffic. And step-by-step roadmap to escape dependency and build resilient consulting business. So the big lie most consultants believe. Let's start with an actual lie. Okay, most consultants believe I just need more leads. If I just get more leads, everything will be fixed, right? More leads equals more money equals more freedom equals more success. Sounds logical, right? But the truth is this: leads don't fix broken businesses, they actually expose them. If your systems are really weak, more leads equals more chaos. If your delivery is inconsistent, more leads equal more refunds. If your positioning is unclear, more leads equal more tire kickers. If your retention is bad, more leads equal more churn. So chasing leads without building structure is like pouring water into actual bucket with actual holes. No matter how much you pour, it never stays full. So what dependency really means? Let's define actual dependency. Dependency means your business survives only if one thing keeps actually working. Okay? And this will happen to one of the consultants that I spoke, I already told you, he got actually Google slapped. He was just depending on actual Google, running Google ads. He was like, also had a good SEO. And then one day, Google just changed the entire algorithm. And over one night, his entire business was wiped out. Okay, there was no leads coming in, sales dropped, revenue dropped, everything dropped, and like panic started. Okay, so your business survives only if one thing keeps working. So a couple examples. You depend on Facebook ads, you depend on one lead vendor, you depend on one platform, you depend on one closer, you depend on one big client, you depend on one offer. If that one thing fails, your business fails as well. And that's not a business, that's a house built on actual sand. A real business works even when one system breaks. It's called diversification. So that means if one platform is not working, you still have another platform that's giving you consistent leads inside of your actual business. And I have heard multiple gurus say, hey, you need to really dial down on actually one platform, really make it work, and just scale on one platform. I have seen this happen again and again, even with Facebook. Facebook also changed the actual algorithm, and I have seen so many businesses were actually panicking, and so many founders were panicking as well, just for a couple of reasons, that their entire business was built on actual Meta platform. They were running ads on on Facebook. And then what happened was, because it changed the algorithm, the algorithm was not recognizing the actual patterns of which they actually were running ads, and everything, because it changed, all the results also changed for them, right? The three levels of consulting business, right? Every consultant falls into one of these three levels. The level one is the hustler, 100% dependent, right? This consultant lives deal to deal, month to month income, no predictable system, and always is grinding and like always hustling. Their mindset is, I just need more leads. Reality, they are surviving, not actually building and thriving in their business, okay? Level two is the operator, partially independent, right? This consultant has ads, has funnels, has CRM, and has a team, but still depends on 1 to 2 main channels. If those break, stress returns, and it's better than level one, but it's still really fragile, okay? So level three is the architect, truly independent. This consultant controls the traffic, controls the brand, controls the clients, controls systems. They have inbound, outbound referrals, content, partnerships, retention systems. No single failure kills them because they have so much diversification throughout different platforms, different channels, and different acquisition sources, okay? This is where freedom really lives when you look at your business and you be like, hey, if that doesn't work, I have the other three things working. Okay, and this is the same as with investments. If you, let's say, have $100,000 inside of your bank account, and you said, hey, I would like to really invest in the Bitcoin, and let's say Bitcoin just drops, and let's say something happens with Bitcoin, you just lost 100,000. But now, if you diversify your investment over three investments, maybe one goes down, but the other two could go up. Okay, even two go down, and one still is going up. So it gives you diversification, also safety net. So why dependency feels really safe, but it actually isn't? Most people don't choose dependency on purpose. It feels safe at first. Example, like you run ads, they work, you start getting leads, and you start making money. So your brain says, don't touch it because it's actually working. Why would I fix something that if it's already working? So you double down and double down and double down until you become actually trapped on the actual platform. Because now you can't turn ads off, you can't experiment, you can't slow down, and you can't rest. You build a golden cage, looks good, but it really feels awful. And that's what's currently happening with a lot of coaches, consultants. They come to us, and usually they have, these would be, I would say these would be consultants and coaches making somewhere about 15K a month. They have some ads working, but the problem is that they're consistently like tied to their actual laptop and their actual business, and they don't have the switch off button because they're consistently working inside their business just to fulfill the clients and make sure that they can bring in the same revenue the next month. And this also sometimes go for, like, I have seen even big businesses doing, like, not really big, like let's say 100K a month consultants, which is really big for a consultant to make 100K a month. I have seen them also really struggling because they have one platform working and that is bringing enough leads, and they don't really have time to experiment on others because they are busy fulfilling the actual clients, and there's so much going into actual that fulfillment, because some of their fulfillment is actually not standardized. It's like some of it's actually custom. It involves a lot about their consultants. It involves a lot of managing. The fulfillment also involves a lot of actual execution. And because of this, they're really tied down to only doing what they are doing and never have time to actually experiment and get into a different platform. So the real goal, control, not actual leads, okay? So write this down. Leads are rented, control is really owned. Ads is like a rented actual attention. Platforms are like a rented actual land. Algorithms are rented actual traffic. They can change anytime. Your goal isn't the leads. Your goal is to have control. Control over your audience, control over your message, control over your relationships, your reputation, your distribution. If you leave everything to one platform, that platform has the entire business. They have your entire business, because if they change, your business completely wipes out. So this is why you should never leave it to a platform, okay? Because everything on the actual platform is rented. Like Facebook ads, YouTube ads, everything is rented. Because the moment, let's say, they want to sell their company and somebody else comes and they say, hey, there will be no advertising on this platform, you are just done, okay? So you need to think about that steps ahead. So the 5 pillars of independent consulting business, right? So let's get practical now. And so watch this video to the end, because I'm really going to give you like so much value in this video, so you really know what needs to happen inside of your business, so you're not dependent on one platform, right? So let's get practical. Here are the 5 pillars that remove dependency. Pillar 1, owned audience, right? This is your foundation. You need people you can reach anytime. So a couple examples like email list, SMS list, community, newsletter, or private group. These private groups could be like, I would use different channels like Telegram, I would use even WhatsApp. I would have some type of platform where I have all these people. So even let's say if Instagram, Facebook disappears tomorrow, I still have a platform where actually you can reach them. If you have a huge email list, it means also you can print money when you need it. You can print money because you have actually your email list. So that means when you create an offer or you have a maybe proposition or proposal, you can actually make it immediate to the email list available, and then you can start having early sales. Also, you can validate offers much better. You can also validate better hooks. You can also have Q&As. You can better understand your audience, what they're looking for, what they need, right? But if you have all of this just on one platform, let's say you have a Facebook group, if Facebook disappears, all that group with all those contacts also disappeared. So it's really important that you really think about the backup plan. Where can you actually source the data of the people that you already have? Because if Instagram, like I said, this was I gave an example about Facebook, but I can give you also about Instagram. If Instagram disappears tomorrow, can you still reach your audience? And if not, then you are dependent. And your goal is to build direct actual relationship where you can actually have communication with them directly without the actual third platform involved. Okay. So pillar 2, multiple lead channels. Never rely on one source. You want at least 3: paid ads, organic content, and outreach or partnerships. Why? Because if one drops, 2 still remain active. Stability equals options. If you just have one platform, paid ads, and nothing else is happening, like you're really bust. Okay. So pillar 3 is clear positioning. Most consultants are invisible. They sound like everyone else. I help businesses grow. I help coaches scale. I help brands improve marketing. Nobody cares. Strong positioning sounds like I help X get Y without Z. So example, like I help fitness coaches hit 20K a month without running ads. Now you are being remembered and people see that actually as value as well. Positioning is really leverage. Pillar 4 is systemized delivery. If you are the system, let's say you are the system that fulfills, custom, I already gave you some examples of the clients before, you are the actual bottleneck currently inside of your business. So that means you can't really scale your energy because you're the only guy in there. So let's even say like you have different consultants and every consultant has a different approach to fulfill your clients. Let's say client usually will pay you like $300 per hour, and let's say you use some of that 300 to pay somebody $100 to be under you, and so they help you to fill the clients. If you have like 10x clients coming tomorrow and you say like, well, then I need to get more consultants, you can't really fulfill them. You need to have a standardized fulfillment where you don't need to get more consultants, where you have enough, like where you have consultants, maybe 2 or 3 consultants that can really help them. Let's say this could be group coaching, this could be like a program, this could be forms, questions, exams, this could be so much things that you could actually fulfill without you actually jumping one-on-one. I see the biggest problem currently is that most consultants and coaches have this one-on-one paradigm of fulfillment. It's like, no, nobody can do it better than I'm just going to jump on a call. I need to fulfill it, right? And with that type of service, with that type of actual model, you can't really fulfill your actual clients fast if you actually double on the clients tomorrow, okay? So if you are the system, you are the bottleneck, your service must work without you. That means SOPs, templates, processes, checklists, and onboarding systems. Why? So quality doesn't depend on your actual mood. And also, if you're not available, then suddenly like there's no service at all. Consistency is what equals actual trust. Then pillar number 5 is client lifetime value. Most consultants focus on how do I get clients. Top consultants focus on how do I keep my clients. Retention, acquisition, okay? You should have upsells, continuations, renewals, and long-term plans. One client for 24 months is better than 12 clients for 2 months, okay? So because out of one client, if it stays with you for 24 months, that value for that client is much more than just to get like 2 high-paying clients for 12 clients, high-paying clients for 2 months, okay? So the dependency trap most consultants fall into. Here's the trap. You grow fast, you get busy, and you stop building systems. You think I will fix it later, but that later never comes. It's like the same person that says I will go to the gym tomorrow, and the tomorrow comes and they just keep pushing it out for tomorrow. Because now you are servicing clients, closing deals, managing fires, and doing support. So you stay dependent. Growth without structure equals future collapse. Okay, so how to escape dependency, step by step. Let's make this really simple. Here's your roadmap, right? Step one, audit your actual dependencies. Ask yourself, where does 80% of my money comes from? Where does 80% of my leads come from? And who do I rely on most? And that's your risk zone. That's when you really will understand, like, okay, that's where my dependency is. Like, that's where all of my leads are currently coming from. Like, I shouldn't be dependent there. Also, you should ask yourself, like, where's the most money coming from? And then also understand, like, what are you currently relying on the most? Okay, maybe you have one guy that you're relying on in the business, which is also really bad thing to do, because I have seen this before. Somebody is building out the business, they have a really great business, they have a good partner, but the partner's not really like a partner, it's just they're working with them. And so most of the business is depending on the other partner. And so what happens when that partner walks away, suddenly the entire business collapses. So you shouldn't be dependent on one person, one platform. You should really think about it like, hey, if that person walks away, I'm still good. Because this is how I see a lot of businesses really being crushed, is that they have somebody really valuable in their team, like that team player is really bringing the business forward, and the moments, like I said, the relationship doesn't work out, that one person leaves, and suddenly what ends up happening is the entire business collapses, just because they didn't have like a backup plan for what happens if that person leaves. And because they left, they were left in a panic without really finding the right solution. And so step two, build a second channel. Don't destroy what works, add to it. Okay, so it's super important. Like, you dial down into one, right? You make it work, but that doesn't mean that you stop there. You add a second one. That also means you have a safety net when you actually are scaling, or you have a safety net when actually things are not working. And then you also can diversify the traffic between the two, okay? So if you use ads, build content. If you use referrals, build outbound. If you use outreach, build email. So also another thing, if you have ads, you could add ads also on a different platform. If you have content working for you, how can you integrate also ads around the content, or content around the ads? So you do your magic and work and figure out, like, how can you get multiple diversifications between the different traffic sources. Okay, and start working really one at a time. Don't do everything, just get one working, add to the next. Consistency will always beat speed. So step three, start capturing every contact. Every lead should go into email, CRM, and follow-up system, okay? The reason I make a space here is because, like, email is really important. I'm actually gonna highlight this, no, underline it. Email is really important because once you have them all in the email, you have built a really valuable email list. That email list is the main money printing machine inside of your business, because every time you can create an offer, you can validate it, and not only validate, you also can sell it directly to your actual audience. So no exceptions, attention is currency, and don't waste it. Step four, productize your actual service. Turn chaos into actual structure. Instead of I do custom consulting, which I told you is the biggest problem, say I run 12-week growth system with 5 phases. Now you are selling actual clarity, okay? So step five, build a brand daily. Brand equals trust at scale, right? Lessons, stories, failures, wins. You can post about client results and actual frameworks. Every day, you don't build a brand, you stay dependent. Okay, so you need to have a brand. If you look at like Kim Kardashian, you look at Alex Hormozi, you can look at like the biggest people around, they have an actual brand. That brand is what really sustains also the business and boosts business like big time. Now, one thing that I want to say, I have seen also coaches, consultants that really are posting online, but they don't really have a strategy behind how they are posting. Some of them are just teaching, and they don't really have a strategy for like, how do you connect? How do you show that you have the value? How do you build authority? If you don't know how to do it, I would strongly recommend you to go to AI right now, to ChatGPT, describe your business to AI, and ask you to really give you how can you grow your audience and what type of content you need to actually post, and how can you test the content, how can you test hooks, and how can you make sure that you are always engaging, and how can you make sure that you're actually growing the audience. Because if you just keep posting, it's not going to work, okay? Like, I have tried posting as well. I paid 30 grand to an actual, I paid 30K to an actual social media, like I would say, kind of manager who has been managing a lot of celebrity accounts, and he told me just posting is not going to do it. But like, when you are posting, you really need to post volume, but you need to understand what type of volume you really need to post, okay? I'm not going to get into it. I can make a separate video. If you're really interested, just comment down below and say, hey, I just want you to give me more insights on the actual social media accounts and how do you do it, and I can give you some game on that because I paid. Now currently I have 30,000 followers on my Instagram, but I actually bought them. Okay, so I bought them, and that was the worst decision I ever made, to buy followers, because the algorithm it just messes it up. Because then when you are starting posting, algorithm kind of tries to really recognize who are the people that the algorithm should be placing your content in front. When you buy followers, you suddenly have a mix of message, so that you confuse the algorithm, and it's not anymore working in your favor. Okay, so every day you don't build a brand, you stay dependent. So mindset shift from hunter to actual architect. So most consultants are hunters. They wake up and think, where's my next deal? Architects think, how do I build systems that bring the deals actually to me? And hunters usually are the ones that burn out. Architects compound, and your job isn't to chase, it's to actually design. I have heard in sales, you need to be the hunter, you need to be the hunter, you need to be the hunter. Like, you can't hunt forever. At some point, you need to build a village and get the people come to you. So the long-term game. Let's talk about the real actual freedom. Real freedom is not more leads, more clients, more revenue. Real freedom is actual choice. Choice to take time off, change offers, raise prices, say no, pivot, and scale slowly. Dependency removes choices. Independence creates it. I want you to understand that. And here's a simple framework to remember. Here's your mental model. Control, channels, clients, and cash. Control attention, diversify channels, serve clients well, and money follows. Reverse it, and you will start to really suffer. If you start with the cash collected and then clients, it's going to be a problem. Let me talk to you directly then. If you're watching this, you probably really care, you probably want more, and you probably know you are capable of more inside of your business. But if your business feels fragile, it's not because you are bad, it's because you've been building on a borrowed actual ground. You've been borrowing attention from platforms, you've been borrowing actual platforms' capacity to give you enough attention, so much borrowing. Right now, build something that you're not borrowing, build your own land. The way you do it is through an email list. Okay? Have email lists and everything, so even if email disappears, you still have their contact. Okay? If that disappears, have their phone number. Like, have all the information at your disposal, so even like if you are in a really crazy situation and you need money, you can make money from an email list. You can probably send out your offer, and you can have early buyers because you have good clients. Okay, so, and today is your wake-up call. Stop chasing leads and start building independence, and start building your own really land. Okay, because the consultants who win really in the long term earn the ones with the most traffic. They're the ones with the most control over the business. Okay, so if you really enjoyed this video, smash the like button, subscribe to my channel. Also watch the welcome video or the trailer, because I explain exactly why I have done this. In this actual channel, I'm giving everything I have learned over the past 13 years. Over I have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, probably near $1 million, to actual education, mentors, failures, and God knows all this crazy experience that I had. And I'm giving you this all for free. So all you need to do is just actually subscribe to my channel so you receive every content. Also hit the notification bell so you never miss content from me. When you do this, you also help me with actual algorithm. You help me to rank higher, get this more out to more people that actually need this, and you help them also to win. So another thing is, if you currently are stuck in the business and you really want somebody to really help you, what we can do is we can book a free diagnostic call. It's not a sales call. I have nothing to sell you. I don't want to even sell you, right? I don't want to take your money. But you can actually book in a diagnostic call. We will diagnose your entire business, your demand, your conversion, your delivery, your decision making, and we're gonna let you know what's really broken, what you need to install, what needs to happen inside of your business. And hey, listen, if you ask us and you say, hey, can you do this for me? Maybe. It's like 80% of the times we say no, because we're really selective of who we actually work. We don't work with everybody, okay? We're not chasing, we're actually attracting people, the right type of people, because they're the ones that actually grow our business. So that's that. You can book that in, but otherwise, please like it, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Gonna help me with the algorithm, but not only with the algorithm, you're gonna help yourself to actually scale your business.